Hi, this is Emily, and this is the M Dash. If it's your first time here, I'm so glad you found your way. And if you've been on this journey with me from the beginning, welcome to episode 11. Wow, let's just dive into it, because when I thought about what I was doing this week, I knew exactly that it probably hit hard for many, because I can not just raise one hand, I can probably raise both. My name is Emily, and I am an overthinker. Seriously though, how many of us are? And you know, it's not just the thinking, it's layers. It starts small, a text, a conversation, a delay, and before you know it, you've probably created 10 different outcomes in your head. Most of them, not even real. And here's the truth I've been sitting with. Overthinking is always about what could go wrong, not what could go right. It's worrying about things that haven't even happened yet. Or guess what? They might not even ever happen. It's not intuition. It's fear dressed up as preparation. Yeah, think about that. Seriously, when you think about what you're overthinking about, what's one thing that's probably circled your mind already today, multiple times? Has it happened? Probably not. And the one thing that's driving that is fear. And that's why I say it's dressed in preparation. It's your brain trying to get ahead of something. It wants to know that you're safe, that it's okay, that it's taken care of, so you don't get caught off guard. But reality is, you're preparing for situations that don't even exist. I think a lot of people too confuse overthinking with nervous. Let's say you're giving a presentation, maybe you're going on that first date, maybe a job interview. Whatever it might be, what parts of it make you overthink it? Right? If you're prepared, so let's say your date, if you've already picked out your outfit, try it on. Don't just think about it in your head, get prepared for it. If it's an interview, do your due diligence on the company, getting ready for it. If it's a presentation, practice it, record it, watch yourself do it, maybe in the mirror. Think about ways that help you eliminate what you're actually fearing it to be. And the worst case scenario, what is it? To me, what if it goes right? And I'm not going to say that I don't overthink, because boy, do I ever. I was just thinking to myself, recording this, I thought, I'm guilty. I'm beyond guilty, and that's why I want to talk about it, because I want this to honestly be an open dialogue for us to see what we're overthinking about, why we're overthinking things, what causes us to overthink things. Because it's a loop. It's a constant curse of a loop. It doesn't move forward. It circles. And why I call it a loop, it's like playing a record, and we don't really do that anymore unless we're really hip or cool, right? But it's that loop. It's that constant loop of replaying it, except when it loops around, it almost replays a different scenario in your mind. Well, what if they said this? Well, what if I did this? What if that doesn't happen? Guys, the best thing I can say, and I talked about this in a couple of episodes before, is write down what you're overthinking. And that's usually, like I said, associated with fear. And next to that, write down the best case scenario for it, because that will train your mind to think best case scenario. And if you're in it, let's say it's your finances, and you're thinking, well, best case scenario, I win the lottery. Well, guys, go buy that ticket. I'm just as guilty. So when we talk about overthinking as a loop, it looks like this. Something small happens, you assign meaning to it, your body reacts, then your thoughts try to fix the feeling, and then you loop again. But I'm going to back up a minute. Your thoughts try to fix a feeling. So when I was just saying, if you grabbed a piece of paper and you wrote down that fear or what you're overthinking about, if you associate that with a positive outcome, a positive feeling, imagine you looped into that. Because if you anticipate good things to happen, your mind is trained to look for those things. And I don't want to set you up, right, for feeling like, well, she told me to do this and it didn't happen. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let's say you want a guy to ask you out and he doesn't. Big deal. There's plenty of other out there. I could say the same thing for a job. If you applied for a job and you didn't get it, that's probably not your path. Just like the guy's probably not supposed to be on your path. We have to think best case scenarios. But if they don't work out, we have to realize there's other options and there's other things ahead of for us. Did I say that twice? I think I did. Ahead. I guess that makes it really happen. It can all happen so fast, just like the way I'm talking. And I'm not even caffeinated. Believe it or not, guys, I've had just a ton of water. I woke up today just super tired, and I've really just been trying to make water my source today. And now you're thinking, okay, Emily, just go grab that cup of coffee. You know what, guys? I didn't overthink it. I've just been hydrating with water. And I feel like it's working. That, or I'm just jazzed to talk about overthinking. Conversations in a digital world, right? I think the biggest place we overthink conversations and relationships because we live in a world of text, emails, and quick replies. So when you think about a text or an email, there's no tone in that. So you read it and you're like, okay, are they mad at me? Are they disappointed? Are they being short with me? Instead of thinking, okay, their reply was short, but maybe they were quick on time and they just wanted to respond. I'm giving that scenario because I used to feel like when text or something came through that I had to answer immediately. I've only gotten out of that in the last, goodness, I would say 9 months. Yeah, 9 months. I stopped realizing that when someone messaged me, whether it was work or email, that it wasn't an emergency for me to reply. It was me making it an emergency. I understand that there is time to think about. So let's say my daughter's texting me and asking me for a password. This is a real life scenario. Not right now, but could be. To her, it's the most important thing, right? She's trying to watch Disney Plus. She needs a password. I don't remember it, okay? But let's just say I don't reply immediately. She's going to keep texting me until I do reply because to her, it was urgent. Okay? Just like an email comes through. I used to think every time I got a work email that I had to reply the minute I got it. I had to do that. Well, guys, all that did to me between texts and emails and any form of communication just showed that I was always available. Okay? Her behavior is different. Something's going on with her. When reality is, I am not that available. I shouldn't stop what I'm doing in the middle of something just to make sure that that person gets a reply. Now, have I forgotten some replies? I have. But at the end of the day, it's made me calmer in the sense that I know that it's not so urgent. We have to reply right away. I do the best I can, and I'm sharing that with you because that's all you can do, is the best you can. When you're available, reply. If you're available right when it comes through, great. Just remember, treat people, I'll say this, the way you want to be treated, okay? But that doesn't mean if you're over anxious and overthinker that somebody should be quick on the trigger finger just because you are, right? Not everyone has the same communication styles. But we live in the world I call of the easy button. We aren't in a generation, people aren't having to watch commercials like we did. They're getting to fast forward through things or go to the next episode if it's available. We didn't have those things when I was growing up. You did have to suffer through 7 commercials just to get to the next part of the show. You didn't get to fast forward through things as quickly as we do now. So I would say this, slow down. I should probably slow down talking right now myself. Well, let me go back to what I was talking about. So because of the world we live in and text and emails and it's all digital, right? What happens when someone doesn't reply to you and you start overthinking, whether it be work, personal, whatever it might be? What you're probably overthinking is because you've created the outcome. You filled in the blanks. They must be what? Mad at me, irritated, annoyed, whatever it might be, because we didn't get a response that we wanted. Or let's say they said, okay. Well, how many times do you guys hear okay and you think there's 30 different tones to someone saying okay, right? Because if they type out, how many versions of that is there? It's the original okay. K, I don't quite understand it because it's 2 letters, but maybe it's my old age. Okay, okay, and I think we all figure out their level of feeling towards us based on how they responded. I don't think I'm wrong in that because I've heard many people do it, I myself. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean they are. Just because we've associated a feeling to something doesn't mean that's what they mean. I think at the end of the day, if we picked up the form, okay, Emily, I'm going to take a breath. If we picked up the phone and called people, we probably wouldn't worry about what they're feeling or what's happening. Or if we responded to something with our best way to communicate how we felt or the situation or explaining a situation, like I said, whether it be work, personal, whatever it is, the more communication you give, the more likely you're going to get a stronger answer. Meaning if you're just looking for a quick, do you want to grab dinner? Sure, right? That's a little different than someone saying, we need to talk. God, no one really wants to hear that, do they? But sometimes that talk could be a positive talk. It's all how you deliver it. So I think delivery matters. And knowing what you're capable of in a time matters too. If you're filling someone else's cup before you fill your own because you feel like they need you to respond, they need you to have a talk, what about you? What do you need out of that? And guys, this doesn't have to just be personal. This definitely can be work related. So messages don't change. The interpretation did. Just like when I was saying okay. If someone says K, you'd be like, they're being short with me. But if they said okay, A-Y, you think, cool, we're good. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because somebody might read it as, they're mad at me. Even if they got the long version of okay. And I say long version because I feel like everybody has a different version. But do the one that works for you. Do it how you communicate. You should always be communicating how you do, not what the trend says to be doing. Overthinking is what happens when we take incomplete information, and then we complete it with our fears. Short responses, delayed replies. If you're talking to me, feel free not to use them. They confuse me just as much sometimes. Or no explanation. Someone just said, okay, great, talk to you later. And you've just given them 3 paragraphs. Well, maybe that was their capacity of what they could respond to. But instead to you, you took it in a different way. And suddenly you've created this whole story. Most of the time, nothing is actually wrong. We are all going through things. And apples to apples, it's not always the same things. But it's tough times for everybody. And that's why you always hear me try to soak myself into the present and being present, taking deep breaths, taking moments to go outside and just be. But I will say this. If you're ever feeling like that, the number one thing you can do, especially if you're starting to feel anxiety from it, and no one's alone in feeling anxiety, step outside. Name 3 things you can see physically with your eyes. You could name 3 colors. You could say green tree, blue sky, gray pavement. That just switches your brain off from panic mode, right? If you can see 3 things, if you can hear 3 things, it brings you back to the present. So maybe stop right now because, me talking about overthinking at a fast pace might have got you a little anxious. I don't know. Maybe I'm not talking so fast, right? Who's overthinking now? But just take a second. Take that minute for yourself. And even if you're driving, you can do this because I guarantee if you hear 3 things, it could be me. It could be your AC, or maybe you have the windows down and you can hear another car or a bird, or you step outside. Name 3 things you can see right now, 3 things you can hear. And just remember that to yourself whenever you're feeling like the feelings inside are about to explode out. Now, let's talk about this. Nobody thinks like you. Hey, we don't want anyone to. We all want to be unique in the way we do things. This is the part that changes everything for me. No one thinks like you. No one reacts like you. And no one processes like you. Just because you would respond quickly doesn't mean they do. Just because you would overanalyze something doesn't mean they even noticed it. You're holding people to a standard that only exists in your mind. That's right, in your mind. When we think about something happening, 3 people could be going through it, and all 3 people could be thinking about the connotation, everything, every detail about it completely differently. Someone could have a completely different perspective about what happened. So just remember, you are unique the way you process things, and that's okay, right? I think I talked about this week, but if I didn't last week, the week before, but taking things personally, something I haven't mastered. But if you take that side of it out when you're overthinking, it kind of makes the rest smoother, right? Because in your mind, it's happening to you. Not for you, to you. So that's why I say it's a fear. And if you attach it to a positive outcome, you can take the little squiggly lines in the middle away. You can take that funky feeling away. Just picture in your mind, it goes exactly the way you want it to. And keep your mind on that loop. You will see a difference, because if that scenario doesn't work out, you might get something very similar in a different way. Our minds are so very strong. Expectations. We've gotten used to easy access. What I was saying before, that easy button. We want people to be available and things to be available the minute we want them. You see it when you go eat at a restaurant. People get frustrated if there's a wait or their food took a little longer to cook, right? The person next to you ordered chicken tenders, but the person next to you ordered a steak. Well, guys, it might take a little longer, but we are so in the mode of it should happen now. But things happen, right? Sometimes orders get misplaced. Sometimes the waitress or waiter forgot to put it in the system. Mistakes happen, or something happened in the kitchen. Maybe they had to recook it. It doesn't mean that if you've been waiting an hour and your food's not there and you ordered it an hour ago, yeah, check in. But patience, right? Not everything happens the way we want it to in the time frame we want it to. And it's not just about ordering food. We text someone and expect a response. You text someone right now, okay? And you think in your mind, okay, waiting. I'm hungry. Who's available? Come on, I asked you. Well, don't force the outcome. If you've texted 3 people, want to grab dinner, no one replied to you. And I don't mean they need to reply to you in 5 minutes, but set yourself a time. Okay, I want to grab food here in the next 30 minutes. If these people are available, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll have a plan B. That's taking away the expectation and appreciation. Hey, I get to still have a great meal. Change the scenario in your mind. When you trade your expectations for appreciation of what you do have available for you and what is going right, everything can change for you. We just put expectations on people and situations far too much. But no one's going to be like us, and no one's going to react like us, because we're us and we're special. You are special. You are special in the way that you are. And overthinking just creates, I'd say, an illusion for you. Because the minute you overthought it and you're thinking the worst case scenario that could happen, what happens when it does go right? And you do get the call and you're like, oh, yeah, it is going to happen. Then what? Then you're like relaxed. But if you've already told yourself, that's going to happen for me, I trust the timing, I trust when it's going to work out, then you're always just living in joy, right? Instead, you're not living in fear, anxiety, expectation, the worst. We just want acknowledgement. We want to know we're heard, we're seen. But there's other ways to do that, and that is through you. I do say that we do need clarity. You know, it's kind of funny. A lot of people say, what do you want in your next relationship? And I've always said clarity and communication. Think about it. Clarity makes communication good. When you understand people's love languages, I mean, communication, I understand, is not that, but it could be words of affirmation. I guess it could be tied to that. I don't really know. I think we're all a little of all of them, just like I think we're all a little bit of the zodiac signs, so forth and so forth. We don't have to dive into all that. My point being, when we don't get clarity, we get stories. And I'm guilty of this. I'm a pretty good responder. I would used to say I was an excellent responder, but now I say I'm pretty good. But if I don't respond right away, I would never want someone to think I'm bothered. Right? I don't want anyone to think that they shouldn't have reached out to me. I do my best. That's why I would call myself now a pretty good responder. I would have called myself an excellent one, but that wasn't driving me in a good place. And I've slowed down and learned how to put me first. But today, this is about overthinking. And I haven't mastered it. But I just gonna talk through it with you so that you know you're not alone. And we all know what's causing it, and it's fear. And if we can get fear under control, we can get our mind under control. And I've worked on it. I've been working on that I don't respond right away all the time. And not because I don't care, because I want to respond intentionally, not just quickly, depending on what it is. Sometimes it is a quick response. Those are easy, right? But sometimes it's like, oh, okay, hold on a second. I don't want to just say, sorry, you're going through that. For me, I truly want to bring clarity and insight to my answers. I want to show up with something real, just like I would in person. I don't want to just fill up space. But this shift alone helped me overthink less because I'm not reacting. I'm choosing. And there's such a big difference in the two. Overthinking isn't just conversations. It's planning too. Think about just something like, what if you don't lose enough weight before you go on a trip? Okay, you have a beach trip coming up. Okay, but what if you do? What if you actually plan ahead, put yourself, I don't want to say a diet because I'm not a big diet girl, but you eat healthier. You show up for yourself. You do the things you know will work. So we don't give equal energy to what could go right. Instead, if you stress out to yourselves, I have 3 weeks before this vacation that came up, but I'm going to do all the things, right? I'm not going to eat after 7 p.m. I'm going to make sure that I have protein, fiber-rich meals. I'm going to drink a bunch of water. I'm going to make sure I exercise 30 minutes a day. There are things you can do to help yourself. Everyone's different. What I just gave examples of doesn't mean you need to try that tomorrow. I'm just saying, plan ahead. Plan for best case self. This could go right. Controlling versus reality. At the core, overthinking is this. trying to control things you don't control. You don't control outcomes, timing, or other people's reactions. You only can control how you show up, what you say, and how you move forward. That's it. You are in control of you. We are not in control of anyone else. How people do things is how they do them. And the more you allow that to be, the more peace you're going to feel within that you did the best you could. You showed up what worked for you. You said what you could say. And you move forward how you knew how. Most of what you're overthinking hasn't even happened. And it might not ever happen. So remember, when you catch yourself overthinking, ask, is this actually happening? Or am I creating it? And if it's not happening, you don't need to solve it. Overthinking isn't about the message. It's about the meaning we attach to it. So think about it. Softly, not on loop. What causes you to overthink? What things now are you overthinking? And try this practice again if you didn't. In my, I think it was episode 8, maybe 7. I don't remember. So sorry about that. But make a list of things that you're overthinking. And then right now, attach it to a feeling of it going right. What if that does happen? What if that deal does go through? What if that vacation is happening? You just don't see it now. And I think when we can't see things, that's what blurs our vision. So I want to leave you with this. A blessing for you. Release the what ifs. I release the what ifs, the ones that haven't happened and the ones that never will. I let go of the should have, the could have, the conversations I replay in my head that I can't go back and change. I don't need to fix the past. I don't need to predict the future. I just need to show up better the next time, with honesty, with clarity, with truth. I release the pressure to read between the lines that were never written for me to read. I stopped taking things personally that were never personal to begin with. And I remind myself, not everything needs a story. Not everything needs a solution. Not everything needs my energy. I choose peace over pressure, presence over prediction, trust over control, and I let that be enough. I hope this helps, and I hope you feel less alone. And I hope you choose to loop on the best case scenario. This is Emily, and this is the M-, and you are always welcome here.